Senator, good morning. What's your sense of why Larry Summers' potential nomination to be head of the Fed is not going forward? And what do you think the moral is for the president as he looks for a Fed chair?
Well, I don't think it's any secret that Larry was not my first choice. He's
was he your eighth choice?
One way of putting
Top 50?
Was he your 10th choice? But the root of your opposition to Larry Summers, what is it?
As I've said before, I think we have different worldviews about the economy and about regulation. I think the president's taken his time. He's thinking through this, and we're having a good and thoughtful discussion, which is a good thing to have in Washington.
Mike.
That's Elizabeth Warren's polite way of saying to President Obama, yeah, I know that as a freshman senator, I nearly single-handedly torpedoed your Fed chair nominee, but take your time on making the next pick. So HuffPost wrote a great article on this that was published yesterday, actually, and I want to share with all of you because there's a lot of skeptics who think that Elizabeth Warren may not be a true progressive. She is. So I could probably count on my hand the number of high-profile Democrats who took on the Obama administration when he was in office, and she was one of them. And this was one of the biggest instances. In 2013, Obama nominated Larry Summers to the head of the Fed. He was going to be head of the Fed. He was in no way a progressive economist at all. He had, in the past, had argued in favor of removing the separation of commercial banks and investment banks, the separation between the two, which is really one of the big reasons that our economy collapsed during the Great Recession. And he was in favor of massive bank bailouts, but was less crazy about the stimulus packages to other affected industries in the recession. So let alone him getting kicked out as president of Harvard for saying women were more mediocre because of genetics. So Elizabeth Warren wasn't having any of it. Just months after joining the Senate, she led the opposition effort against Larry Summers in the Senate. A freshman senator from Massachusetts began piecing together opposition to Summers on the Senate Banking Committee, which would have to approve Summers' appointment prior to a full Senate confirmation vote. The reaction stunned Obama. In a private meeting of Capitol Hill Democrats, he told lawmakers that an unreasonable left wing was making Summers into a whipping boy. After months of bitter conflict, 4 Senate Democrats joined Warren in opposition to Summers, leaving him 1 vote short on the committee. He withdrew his name from consideration and retreated to the op-ed pages, where he remains a popular figure among the dying breed of very wealthy Democrats. And interestingly enough, I guess it makes sense, Larry Summers was key in killing Elizabeth Warren's bid to be the head of the Consumer Financial Protection Agency, the CFPB, which she basically authored and created. And now that he's out of public office, he's still making it his life's mission to go after Elizabeth Warren. For most of the past year, Summers has been the antagonist in chief against one of Warren's signature big ideas, her call for a 2% wealth tax on fortunes larger than $50 million. Through op-eds, CNBC interviews, conference appearances, and Twitter screeds, Summer has mustered every bit of ridicule he can for the wealth tax and the economic experts the senator has relied on to develop it. He's bad-mouthed the underlying data on wealth inequality, emphasized the sophistication with which the rich avoid paying taxes, and declared the entire project a hopeless political dead end. Because, you know, when we have injustices, the best thing to do is just to not try at all. And that's really what he's arguing there. Elizabeth Warren and her fight against Larry Summers is just one of the stories about her progressive efforts, specifically when it comes to banking in the Senate. Now, Bernie Sanders is the most progressive candidate in the race, but guys, Warren's no slouch either.